Thank you very much, Kevin. I assume everybody out there can hear me. I have to tell you, I showed up here at 7:30 this morning, and to watch this all get put together and watch people link on and see some of the bugs that they worked out, and I'm vibrating from excitement. As Kevin said, I worked on the rural development strategy. I started I don't believe it was 2 hours after I first won my by-election that Shirley McCullen phoned me and asked me to work on it with CwoB. And for 4 years, we traveled around the province working on finding out the strengths and the weaknesses, the opportunities that were available in rural Alberta. We wrote an interim report. Then we wrote a final report covering 72 recommendations that involved healthcare, education, community infrastructure, economic development, youth, seniors, Aboriginals, the environment, transportation, water, arts and culture, you name it. I mean, it seemed to cover everything, and I'm very proud of that report. I was remiss. You have to understand, the minister gave me a speech to read, which is about a page long, that says, "Welcome from the Premier and Minister Groeneveld and all my colleagues. Hope you enjoy the conference," but I'm not going to read that. That's about all it says. So I'm going to go on with a few other remarks that I have. Now, I really wish that all of my colleagues could be here to see this, to watch it this morning and see it all set up, to realize that over 20 communities are linked all around Alberta. I mean, traveling around doing the rural development strategy, there are 422 communities in rural Alberta, and I've been to 263 at least. I think there's more, but I've quit counting now since it's getting up there. But it would be really nice for all of my colleagues to be able to see what is happening here today. I agree with you, Kevin, when you say it's a milestone, but I think it's bigger than that. I think this is a tremendous achievement, and there's a lot of great work that you're going to do here today. When we have caucus at Government House or in the Legislature building, it's interesting when 70 members of caucus get together at Government House and we have our meetings, we still can't get onto the internet. And you have to understand, most of the MLAs don't want to get onto the internet. Some of them don't use computers, some of them don't use Blackberries, some of them still don't have voicemail on their cell phones that are 6 years old. So they don't always understand the future and actually the present potential for communication that's out there. And if they could see this and witness it, I think it would help bring them a long ways. I mean, I've argued repeatedly, and I'm never going to quit arguing, that I should be able to have a video conference, a link with my Wainwright office and my office in Edmonton, so that when I leave here and I'm done, I could still go back to my office here in Edmonton and video conference with constituents in my Wainwright office. Or if I'm in my Wainwright office, I can join a meeting in Edmonton from there. Or I can video conference with a constituent that is in Forestburg or Castor or Alliance, so that they don't have to drive 60 miles to come and see me in my office. But the potential, though it exists, still hasn't been realized within our offices. So we have a long ways to go, and sometimes I think you have to understand that you're far ahead of many other people in this province, but you're going to model what's possible for all of us, and I'm excited for today. Now, I'm no longer working on rural development for the province, but I still try and model communication in other ways. I do encourage you, thank you, Kevin, for that little plug, to go to my website, douggriffiths.ca or .com or .net or whatever, because I own all of them, and have a look at the website, because I do podcasts on the 13 Ways to Kill a Community, which is designed to help fire up rural communities and understand that it's not the provincial government that's going to make rural Alberta successful. It's local people, local communities that are going to decide they're going to be successful and find ways to do that, rather than waiting for the government to come along and fix it. I also have videos of every speech that I give in the House. I still have some challenges getting it from the Ledge Assembly office. It takes a couple of days, but the videos get posted up there with the transcripts of the speeches. I post all of those videos to YouTube, to Google Video, to Yahoo Video. I Twitter. Actually, I did an intensive Twitter training session last night, and still all the MLAs, when I say I Twitter, they giggle like it's something a little untoward. But it's not. And so I do everything I can to try and communicate, especially for the next generation, the 35 and under, that really, they don't read the newspaper, the hard newspaper, as much as they used to. They're looking for all the new mediums. That's where they get their information from. So it's critical that we use those new mediums in order to communicate. And that involves video conferencing too. A 22-year-old teacher in Forestburg is much less likely to come to my office in Wainwright and sit down to have a face-to-face meeting. But if they know that they can dial up and do a video conference, they're more likely to tell me their issues and talk about some of the challenges and solutions that they have as well. So I've said this over and over, and I just Twittered it, and I just put it on my Facebook page, that I've been thinking all morning about how the medium is the message. It's the mode of communication right now that's just as important as what you're trying to communicate, especially to the next generation. So what you're doing is a model for, well, I was going to say what you're doing is a model for the future, but quite frankly, what you're doing is a model for the present, because the future is here right now, today, and you're demonstrating that. The potential in rural Alberta to do video diagnostics or video medicine all over Alberta is incredible. I actually went to the Capital Health Region, and they were going to do a demonstration for me when I was working on rural development on how they could have a specialist team in Edmonton at the hospital, and they could do diagnostic treatments out in Hinton. And I emphasized to them that that's only half of it. There could be a specialist team in Hinton that can do video diagnostics and video telehealth into Edmonton too. There's incredible opportunities to utilize the resources we have in rural Alberta and give every single Albertan the opportunity to choose the quality of life they want, so they don't have to necessarily be in the city. They can be anywhere they choose. The potential for education. I know a few years ago the province had determined that they wanted every Alberta student who'd entered grade 4 to have the opportunity to learn a second language. The challenge we had is that we didn't understand how to use the technology yet, so every school or every school board was looking to hire a French teacher. But the potential for someone who can teach Portuguese in Grand Prairie and bring 50 students online video conference from 10 or 12 or 50 sites if they need to get 50 students in a class is incredible. And now, with this technology, we have the opportunity to advance education tenfold or 20-fold. And of course, we have all of the resources there. Although people talk all the time about how we still don't have the resources available, libraries exist in 263, I believe, or 270 communities in rural Alberta right now. And the potential for education, for what you name it, the resources are there, and everything's possible now. So unfortunately, I was hoping, I had planned on spending the rest of the day with my family, since I haven't seen them very much lately since we're in session, but now my schedule's filled up and I have meetings until 5 o'clock. But what I would really like to do today is be able to sit here and watch what you guys talk about, listen to the issues, listen to the opportunities, and really see what 250 people from over 20 different sites, when they put their heads together from all over Alberta, can accomplish. But I know I'll hear about it anyway, because Kevin phones me fairly regularly and keeps me up to date, and as quite a few of you do. So I hope I've given you they only gave me 8 minutes. So I hope in that 8 minutes I've given you just a little bit of indication of how interesting this is, how important this is, and the potential, personally for me, that I see this has for rural development and the opportunity to keep rural Alberta not going, but the opportunity to make it grow and build. I'm very excited by what you guys are accomplishing, and if you do come out with a theme by the end of the day, I hope it is something like the future is here, because that's what you're doing, and it is here. So I wish you tremendous success on behalf of my colleagues and the Premier and Minister Groeneveld, and I know you'll have a great day, and I look forward to hearing the results. Thank you.